The dark shadow in the hotel hallway still stood still, as if waiting for something from the cameraman. Not moving, not visible, but its presence caused nearby trees to collapse for no reason. The person filming stood still, but the shadow still did not take his eyes off. Maybe it doesn't want to be seen, but it still wants to be remembered. The camera hovering over the cemetery recorded a blurry figure sitting motionless. When the figure turned its head, its gaze pierced through the lens, making the viewer suffocated. Rusty tried to run after him, but saw nothing but empty space and absolute silence. There were no clouds, no pipes, no broken roofs, yet the ground in one place was soaked. A lonely rain kept falling in the midday sun. Has anyone ever witnessed such a Verja phenomenon? The man almost fell when he was suddenly pulled back. No one understood where the third figure appeared from and then disappeared immediately after the punch. If not a real person, then who saved him?
I need 20 bands for a fucking anklet. He gave me that.
The space behind the dancer is continuously scanned by movement.
I ain't gotta get naked for no tennis bracelet, but I need 20 bands for a fucking anklet. He gave me net, now I got protect. These just only want that this cause they her future said. All on the end.
But there is still a figure clearly visible in the frame, standing still, motionless, then disappearing without a trace. The problem is, how did he get in there? A shadow walked past the security guard without anyone in the frame noticing its presence. She passed by, almost touching the other's shoulder, but there was no reaction. Viewers get chills when they think of the times when we felt someone touching us but thought it was just the wind. A cat that was walking normally was thrown into the air as if by an invisible force. No one standing nearby, no zipper, just a sudden, violent movement. The other animals howled and scattered. If not by humans, what could make it fly like that? At that fateful moment, a force as light as a human hand was placed on his shoulder, pulling him out of the way of the oncoming car. When I turned around, no one was there. No one stepped out of the frame. Could it be that he himself has returned from the future to correct his mistakes? After a late practice session, the security guard called the coach in and asked who he had been talking to on the floor. He replied naturally that it was a new customer who needed guidance, completely unaware of the next reaction. When the CCTV footage was rewound, the chilling truth emerged. The whole time, he was just standing and talking into space. The darkness was torn apart by that absurd moment, from 4 legs to 2, from small to giant. The camera was still filming, but no one could explain what had just happened. Are there creatures that still borrow the body of cats to outwit humans? Not like a kite, not like smoke, not like an airplane. Those shadows just kept sliding as if without any resistance. Is it a reconnaissance ship from another civilization or just a visual error? The iron gate was tightly closed, but the figure still passed through, as if the boundary between the two worlds had never existed.
Nakapasak yan, sabi mo, di ba? Oo. Tatagos siya ng isang baka. Siya nagagalaw-gagalaw yun. Baka, no? Hindi yung ginalaw eh, hindi ko galaw eh. Di ba? Hindi ko alam baka. Malayam lang.
There was no hand opening, no sound, just that shadow gliding through the metal as if nothing were stopping it. Viewers debate. Is it a deceased person who still has his own path? No one rang the bell, but the camera recorded the sound no one asked for. That song is not included in any setting, much less on NASA's Golden Disc list. So who chose it, and for what purpose? No one was standing nearby. There was no sound of the engine, but the toy kept swinging. Some people thought it was just a technical error, but the camera's eyes captured the emotional movement. Are children staying longer than we think? There was no sound, no clear trajectory. It just floated motionless, and then quietly slid away. Not a plane, not a balloon, nothing familiar. It's as if it's just passing by to remind us that there's so much that has never been written into a book. A house that carries persistent whispers through many generations of owners, as if it doesn't want anyone to leave peacefully. The stairs, the lighting, the feeling of being watched, all repeated with the old owner and the new one. They reshare the creepy videos as proof that something is still around. That's the chair that cats used to sit in when they were alive. When the camera captured a blurry image sitting in that exact position, everything seemed closed. Perhaps the love between owner and pet really doesn't stop after death. No tension, no screams. Just hands gently lifting tens of tons of steel. Many people called it a hoax. Others believed he had tapped into an untapped source of energy. The lines and textures are too regular to be random. No one knows what it is, only that it shouldn't be there. Perhaps it is the remnants of a forgotten civilization or a buried message. No one touched it, there was no wind, but the barrier still shook strongly, evenly and deliberately. The guard confirmed that no one but him was there. Maybe it's a soul still demanding to be heard. At first, there were vague moans, as if echoing from the deep earth. Then, a figure appeared next to the tombstone as if waiting. Viewers debate whether it is a soul, a shadow, or just fear in the mind. Wine bottles move around on their own in an empty bar, leading people to believe that not everyone is welcome after closing time. The peace was broken by a movement that no one could explain. When recording the video, it was clear that no one was standing nearby. Perhaps some entity is still managing this place in its own way. In the middle of a quiet night, the virtual assistant spoke without anyone's request, opened the door, and then disappeared.
A deliberate attempt to contact the spirit of a deceased person is known as a seance. But I have a skill you might like.
This was soon followed by a knock on the basement door, a dog barking and escalating footsteps. The clip ends when the owner screams in panic.
I have a skill you might like.
What the fuck?
Want to try it? Tee.
The dogs barked into the distance, while the camera did not record anything specific. No people, no movement, just an empty space. But the dogs howled like crazy. Perhaps what the camera cannot see, their senses perceive very clearly. It was jumping, then suddenly shrunk and transformed. As the camera gets closer, only the soft, writhing creature remains, no trace of frog legs or skin. Is it a mutation, an illusion, or an unnamed creature? There was no scream, no escape, just a brief flash of light and then complete emptiness. The camera still rotates steadily but captures nothing but silence. If this isn't kidnapping, then what is? With no rope, no support equipment, he just rotated in the air. Then suddenly turned his head down and stood in the sky as if no gravity existed. Is this a magic show or a sign of escape from the visible world? A bird stood still in the sky as if reality had stopped for just a moment. It didn't flap its wings. It didn't fall. It didn't move. It floated as if time had just frozen. No wires, no pillars, no support balls. Only the question remains. What is controlling the world around us?
Carros. Ah, cabrón, me ruido. ¿Qué pedo aquí? Ah, su chingada madre. ¿Y este güey que me viene siguiendo qué?
The Audi, which had been shot through and sat idle for weeks, suddenly rolled around on its own one night as if someone was still behind the wheel.
Viendo los carros. Ah, cabrón, me ruido. ¿Qué pedo aquí? Ah, su chingada madre. ¿Y este güey que me viene siguiendo qué? Shh. ¡Párate, cabrón! ¿A dónde vas?
With 3 wheels and an almost shattered body, no one thought it could still move. Yet, without anyone, without explanation, it began to slip away in the dark night. Some people believe that an entity has not yet left that metal frame.
I just wanna... Oh my god, oh my god. No fucking way, no way, oh my god, oh my god. See, bro?
The call rang out without any response, but the door still slowly opened as a response.
Hello?
No wires, no devices, no obvious physical impact whatsoever. It seemed like something was waiting to be found.
No fucking way, no way, oh my god, oh my god. See, bro? There's nothing on this fucking door. Hello?
Amid the orange-red sunset, something floated slowly like a breathing fabric. The sharp tips at the 4 corners move rhythmically, as if they have their own consciousness. Is it an ancient legend reclaiming its place in modern times?